All right, everybody, it's time for tip number 4. So the fourth supplement might be my favorite supplement, high quality fish oil or omega-3. Now, the reason that fish oil is important or omega-3s are important is because the majority of the population is actually deficient in this particular nutrient. It's an essential fatty acid, and what that means is that the body cannot make it. We need to actually consume it, and it's essential for health. Okay, every single one of our cells is actually surrounded by fat, and the type of fat that we actually eat is what's going to make up those the surrounding or that bilayer. So if we're consuming healthy fats, guess what? Our cells are nice and fluid. They communicate with one another. They let things in and out appropriately, and detoxify appropriately. So we want to make sure that we get high quality, healthy fats. The problem is the standard American diet, we don't get good healthy fats. A lot of our foods are laden with what we call omega-6 fatty acids. So if we eat a lot of fried foods, if we eat a lot of vegetable oils, if we eat a lot of processed foods, we're getting high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which are important, but the problem is that the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 is extremely skewed. Those should be close to 1-to-1, 1 omega-3 for an omega-6, but it's more like 1 to 20. So 1 omega-3 to 20 omega-6 is the typical American diet. Now what that does is it just sets us up for an inflammatory cascade. We did an entire workshop on this a couple years ago called Supplementation. If you want the link to that, I can break down the physiology for you. But we know that particularly when we're dealing with the immune response, too much inflammation is not a good thing. So if we're already systemically inflamed, it's just going to set us up for trouble when we're trying to fight an infection. So to limit inflammation and to balance out that omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, we recommend supplementing with a high quality fish oil. So obviously you want to make sure it's a good source. You want to make sure it's mercury free, and you want to make sure that it's not gone rancid. Okay, so a good way to test your fish oil, if it's a capsule, just bite it. If it tastes like rancid fish, it's gone bad. The fats have oxidized. Get rid of it. Okay, when we take a high quality fish oil, it shouldn't really taste too fishy. On the topic of omega-3s, specifically, they have a similar effect as vitamin C does on the phagocytic process. So we talked about that, how our first line of defense, right, our innate immune system, part of that process is our phagocytes, where they attack things, gobble them up, take them away. When we're dealing with novel viruses, things that we've never come in contact with before, we don't have an acquired immune response, okay? Meaning we've never seen this thing, we haven't developed antibodies to it yet. So our best line of defense is our innate immune response. We want that phagocytic process to act readily and appropriately to whatever it comes in contact with. One of the ways to make sure that this happens is to be sufficient in EPA and DHA, those essential omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Once again, got to get quality, so health food store or a health practitioner. But yeah, maybe my favorite supplement for reducing inflammation and just making sure that we have proper cellular communication within the body. And since I'm a nerve system guy, right, we know that the nerve system needs or requires these essential fatty acids to function appropriately. So high quality omega-3 fatty acid, that's tip number 4, and we'll talk to you tomorrow with tip number 5.